Welcome back, everybody. It's Winback, and today we're going to be playing this robot ninja guy. His name is Genji. He's a little bit more difficult than most characters, so we're going to try to explain it a little bit. But today's team comps are Rexar, Abathur, Cassia, Genji, Uriel versus Ragnaros, Zarya, Nova, Leoric, and Tassadar. So, Genji, now, this is a bit of a disclaimer because everybody's allowed to play whatever hero that they want to, but this character specifically has an extremely high skill cap. He's not beginner friendly, he's not going to be good in every situation, he is not going to be good in the hands of a player who cannot play him. So, that being said, he did get some buffs. The dev team, with their most recent patch to him, decided to try to make him a little bit more, or a little less punishing to play. Now, when I say that, there's some very specific things about Genji that make him difficult to play, and that all happened... Oh, good. Perfect. That all happened because Genji is so dominant in the hands of good players. He's had to suffer through a lot of nerfs to really kind of bring down his effectiveness. Oh my god, this game has just got me going. It's got me going. But, so, a long time ago, Genji had pretty standard ranged auto attack assassin range. That has been dropped to a lot lower than your standard ranged assassin. I think it was probably as short as Cassia's was prior to her rework. Or it is as short as that. It's just very difficult to get in an auto attack without putting yourself in danger, which is what the devs wanted. Genji should not just be able to go places and do whatever he wants. Now, that in and of itself should be a huge nerf in everybody's mind, but it also, when Genji released, his Swift Strike range, his E, used to be considerably farther than it is right now, and it was almost impossible to hit that button with any sort of punishment. Genji used to go half the screen, even more probably, because we can go about half the screen right now with his Swift Strike, and it was just absolutely oppressive in terms of killing players behind walls, killing players that were outside of the vision radius, just getting anywhere that he needed to go. So that got reduced as well. And a lot of what makes Genji super hyper mobile used to be on fucking steroids. So he used to be way easier to play. Just really and absolutely fucking broken levels of good in high level play. But after the HGC died, after all the professional players really started moving away from the game, Genji is now left in this vacuum of normal players who pick him and don't really understand what he can do or how to effectively make him work. Specifically, Genji is going to be a roaming assassin who is all about damage, all about securing kills, as you can fucking see, and making sure that his team is getting their lanes won. Now, specifically in the case of Abathur and on Cursed Hollow, this character is absolutely fucking abusive. Abathur on Genji just means Genji can explode people from every type of fucking range that you can imagine, and he really doesn't have to be very unsafe to do it, because Abathur can heal him, Abathur can give him more damage, Abathur can mine places, Abathur can soak, while Genji is just roaming literally everywhere, killing literally everything. And absolutely, when you clone Genji, he's just that version of Genji is even more dangerous than normal Genji, because at 10 you don't have all of your talents with Genji, so that increased attack damage and everything that the clone does with Genji is fucking insane. Just absolutely insane. But all that out of the way, Genji, as a character, like I said, he's going to be roaming between lanes. He's going to be creating pressure. He's going to do a lot of what Nova was doing in her heyday, which is to just create disadvantages for players pushing really, really hard like they are right now. So Zarya and Leoric are so far up, even with this camp, we just want to get back in the back and make them think about what they're doing. And at this point, the entire team is reacting to this mid push. So we're just going to keep fucking with them. And oh, it's so good. Being that our front line is so beefy, we don't actually have a tank, but we have so much health between Rexxar and Yrel that we can just kind of do whatever we want, because the focus is never going to be on us as Genji. They're so incredibly CC'd or just fucked with by Misha, by Rexxar, by Yrel, by Abathur. There's so much opportunity for us to do whatever we want. As you can see, this is like the 4th reset of the game with our E. Oh, I wanted to go for it, but he had just a little bit too much health. And if I miss that swift strike over the wall, I'm fucking dead. So, that is one of the more crazy decisions that you'll have to make as a Genji player if you decide to pick this character up. You have to know when you can get those kills with your E and get the reset, because if you don't get the reset, you've effectively killed yourself because you've jumped over a wall. And the staggering amount of times that I've seen that happen with Genji players is insane. The number of people who just decide, I'm gonna go for it, and then die because they don't have any other ability to leave is pretty bad. Now, you do have your cyber agility. Obviously, that's going to be your backup movement tool. Oh, got him. First death of the game, really fucking unfortunate. But that gives me some time to talk about the talents. So, there were a few changes to Genji with this most recent patch. They were both nerfs and buffs. What happened, number one, was we got a nerf to cyber agility. Its cooldown used to be 15 seconds, and now it's 20. So, you have to be much more aware of how you use it unless you are going to use Agile Dismount. This also changed because the talent had to be balanced around the nerf. But, that being said, it is going to, when you are mounted, increase the jump range of cyber agility by a huge amount. Again, it's more than half the screen that you can jump from your mount, and is going to reduce the cooldown of your cyber agility from 20 seconds to 6 seconds as long as you jump from mount, right? Oh, that's a 10 star. Ow. He just did so much damage to himself from that deflect. And he missed the wall too. Gonna block that shock ray and get right the fuck out of there. Whew. Spooky. Spooky stuff. But Agile Dismount is the number one way that you are going to create ganks and get to places on time with movement for Genji. You need Agile Dismount to go from point A to point B faster. Because not only is your E used for securing kills, you don't want to use it to move if you have another opportunity to get there without it. Because you have to be precise about using your Swift Strike to kill people and deal damage. Because if you're not doing that, you don't get the reset, then you're fucked. But, more than that, Genji can use those two abilities more than anything else to just arrive on scene faster than most other mounted characters. Obviously, that doesn't mean the same thing with globals. Dahaka's still going to beat him, Falstad's still going to beat him, but he can still get there just in time to save the day because his mobility is through the fucking roof. I don't really know why Rag is in the building right now. He's just kind of there in front of our whole team, looking like he's ready to die. Yeah. Now we're just going to kill him with Sabato attacks and make it look flashy. Got it. get out of the way of the lava wave. And that's what you do. You just poke them down with your auto attacks. You let your team really set up the biggest part of the damage, and then you are going to come in for the last 20 to 30% and make sure that they die. Oh no. Okay, I didn't mean to actually go this direction, so here we are. We're going to use our X-Strike to get out of the way. X-Strike is the next ability that got buffed for Genji. It went from an 80-second cooldown to a 60-second cooldown. I liked this ultimate better anyway, but what it is going to do, in case you haven't noticed, it does give you extra mobility, it gives you a lot of burst damage, and the utility, as far as saving yourself with Genji, we're not even going to bother using our Swift Strike, is it makes you completely untargetable. So, now that it's on a 60-second cooldown, you can essentially use it to save your life without any worry whatsoever. If you have to X-Strike away to avoid a Pyroblast, or to avoid any amount of damage that is just rocketing at your face and you can see coming, whoa, that's a Nova. You just hit that button, it's all gone, and you are good. Now, same thing goes with his deflect. Obviously, you want to save that for big situations that are telegraphed, because that's a much shorter cooldown. But at the middle of a team fight, maybe you've already used it. Maybe you had to block some different damage, and you need an out. So, X-Strike, is that... Why are you bothering me, Nova? Ugh. Okay, it's fine. Everything's fine. I just wanted to make sure that I could get down to the bottom lane, but Nova doesn't want me there, so I'll leave. I'll just leave. My team really has it in for Tassadar. There's no building down there, so there's nowhere here he can run to. And yet again, Ragnaros is in a fucking fort, like, just pushing buttons, I guess. Just pushing buttons, which is... I do what you gotta do. It's a quick match. Nobody cares. You gonna go invisible? Nope, you're just gonna let me kill you, huh? Maybe she didn't have it. Anyway, at level 13, because of the changes to Genji, we picked up the new talent. It's called Way of the Shimada. That is going to make our auto attack range full one extra, and every time that we auto attack, which we get 3 stacks of, it is going to do 1% more damage, up to 15% for 3 seconds, I believe. But after 5 auto attacks, you've hit max. As long as you are doing what I was just doing there, chasing down those immobile enemy heroes, you're going to get that pretty hot damage increase. Oh, that shock ray does fucking hurt. Anyway, that talent is just going to make it much easier for you to poke and do damage where you're supposed to be doing damage with Genji, which is auto attacks in the back, avoiding lots of that frontline CC and damage, coming around flanks, that sort of stuff. So it's really helpful, and it kind of increases your threat range with Genji, so you don't have to be in such scary places with your autos, which is fantastic. But it is a brand new talent. It obviously takes some getting used to for everybody who plays. I just love it. I fucking really, 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 really like the talent. At 16, I wouldn't recommend Steady Blade unless you're getting just reset after reset after reset, because you have to hit people with the E to begin with to increase the damage of the next E, and obviously that builds very much into the reset mentality. Like, oh, you gotta go through these people to kill this other person, and then your next one's just gonna kill them even harder. You kind of see where we're going. Big X Strike in the middle of the enemy team, trying to get... I don't have my Swift Strike cooldown up just yet. Oh, there we go. Now, if he attacks me with his autos, he's just going to take a lot of damage. I am not worried about dying. I kind of wondered why I don't have an Abathur hat, but at the same time, I guess we're just going to dump it on the frontliners. That's no big deal either. Oh well. Forgot my train of thought. But anyway, Steady Blade, don't necessarily take this unless you're having a really, really good game on Genji. I think Final Cut's probably the way to go. more often than not at 16. And then at 20, you're just going to pick up the ult upgrade, Living Weapon. The reduction of cooldown for the ability is 10 seconds per hero hit. And you are going to swing, you're going to have an opportunity to hit a hero 3 times. And if you do that on multiple heroes, you can reduce the cooldown completely. So if you hit... It's a 60-second cooldown. If you hit 3 heroes 2 times, you've got the cooldown back. And it's a huge area. So I just don't think that there's ever a reason to pick anything but this talent. Ultimately, I don't think there's any reason to pick anything but the ult upgrades for Genji. Same with Dragon Blade. I mean, if you're picking Dragon Blade, pick the upgrade. It's that easy. I don't know what he was doing with that wall. I really thought he was going to auto-attack me, but I guess he thought he got away. Not real sure why he thought that. Yeah. No accounting for some people's knowledge, especially in quick match. The towers are off. We're going in here. I don't know why I attacked the building. I need to... He didn't attack me at all. It's fine. It's fine. We're going to steal that kill. You better fucking believe it. We didn't really get to talk much about deflect. Obviously, there were a lot of situations in this game where it was just absolutely perfect. Nobody's getting away. We have Swift Strike up. But deflect, it's your primary decision-making ability. So you have to be able to know, am I going to use this to kill someone? Am I going to use this to save my life? Your deflect also works off of minion damage. So if someone is running away on the enemy team and your minion wave is not close to their minion wave to aggro it, you can dash into them, into their minion wave, hit the deflect button, and then all those minion attacks plus the hero attacks are going to bounce back at the hero because the deflect prioritizes heroes. So if you don't know that little bit about playing Genji and using that W button, there you go. That's going to help you if you're ever forced to soak a lane or you're ever in a position where you have to fight a 1v1 versus enemy heroes in lane. That's going to save your life a lot. And it's going to do a lot of damage too. But anyway, like I said, it's not a beginner-friendly character. Very, 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 very often you are going to pick Genji to fill a very specific role, and he is going to have to do a very specific thing for your team to make him good. So here's the talents one more time if you need them. 11, 11, and 1. Solid ones across the board. I had the most experience. Huh. I wonder if that was from kills. Interesting. Anyway, Agile Dismount at 1. I think this is pretty much the only talent you can take here because you need it. Strike of the Heart at 4. I do not like Shuriken Mastery because I am not any good at landing the Shurikens from close range. So, just not a fan. Perfect Defense at 7. I don't think really you can pick anything else because that cooldown reduction is too good. Especially versus a Zarya, a Tassadar, I mean, even Leoric and Ragnaros with his fucking meatball. Like, there's so many ticks of damage that happen. You're just going to reset your deflect way too often. The new shield talent for this ability seems cool, but at the same time, if you can protect more often, then why would you take a shield that only lasts 4 seconds, right? X-Strike at 10, we've already gone over that. Wave Shmata, already gone over that. I'm not going to go over 16 anymore because you know how I feel about that. And then Living Weapon at 20. Honestly, I'd say 16 is your biggest decision to make. All the other talents depend on the build that you want to go for. So if you're going to take Shuriken Mastery, you take Shingen at 16? 16? Pretty sure it's 16. No, it's at 13. Because 16 is the increased deflect damage. Yeah. Obviously, there's deflect meme builds for Genji that you can build, but like, why would you do that? So, anyway, thanks so much for hanging out. I will be back tomorrow with some new stuff. We're still digging into the patch and just kind of figuring out everything, seeing how it all feels. But if you like this video, feel free to let me know in the comments, or do the like thing, the subscribe thing, whatever YouTube is making you feel like that day. And I will be back to impart more wisdom and tell you not to play things because they're hard. Okay? All right.